Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Attitudes with Auntie. Thank you so much for being here each and every week. I truly appreciate it, and it is an honor to get to meet all the people that I get to meet so that we can learn and grow together to be the best humans ever. Now, today I'm doing a little bit of an intro because my podcast that you're about to listen to, we got excited, okay, and we never ended up doing the intro. So let me introduce our wonderful guest. Today, we get to learn the ins and outs of reality TV. What goes down behind the scenes that we do not see. What it is like to be on reality TV and suddenly have a big boom of people watching you and being interested in your life. So we are talking about Love Island Australia, and in particular, we have the amazing Jordan Dowsett on the podcast. He was honestly one of Australia's favorite on there because he was so true, he was so authentic, and he just always spoke with his heart. And whilst he didn't find true love there, he sure did find some friends for life, and we get to hear all about his journey beginning, middle and end of Love Island Australia. So even if you haven't watched this reality TV show, you're still going to be super interested because it's just crazy what reality TV is behind the scenes. So without further ado, here is the episode.
Attitudes with Andy, take one.
The only one.
The only one, legit.
That's so awesome. Did you ever have to do that? Were they ever like, and scene?
No. It's so free-flowing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Everyone that I've talked to that have done other reality shows is especially because I went with Al, he's been on Maths, and when he went in there, I didn't know who Al was. I don't watch reality TV.
Yeah.
But coming off it and then going to visit him in Bondi and stuff, and sometimes we'll get talking about it. And yeah, he's just Love Island is so free-flowing compared to so many other reality TV shows that people have been on. So that's one really good thing.
Yeah, that's good because then you can just kind of be yourself.
Yeah.
And
it's not scripted because you're literally saying it how you feel, how it is then and there, and you're not oh no, can we do that again? And then you sort of have time to, I might rephrase that a little bit. And I think that's why a lot of the things we say on there, people go, are they dumb or are they serious? With how, because it's literally just we just talk and we just say it how it is, and they'll just use it exactly like that.
Yeah.
Instead of sort of going all right, we love where you're coming from, but let's word it a bit better, or like that. It's just whatever we say is they put straight on there. So.
Oh, some of the things out of context are so good.
I know, yeah.
The scene where I think Cal or something enters the villa and somebody's she didn't just bring back a snack, she brought back a whole meal.
Yeah, legit, yeah. Yeah, we love it in there. We just love it's just so much fun.
Oh, it looks so cool. So, I was going to do my intro, but we're just flowing with it. I will say I really loved how authentic and true to you were the whole entire time. Straight from the get-go, it was this is me.
Yeah.
Did you have to put that in your mind, I'm always going to be me, or have you kind of always been like that?
I think, yeah, I've always been like that in a certain aspect. I think when I went through my breakup, I did a lot of self-development and then I really sort of found myself what I loved and that. And I think you get to a point where you're so confident in yourself and you realize you are who you are. You only get one body. If someone doesn't like you for who you are, that's on them. So I think when you go in there, you just go, and especially talking to the producers before going in and that, it's we've casted you for you know what I mean? You haven't put a persona on, you haven't put we haven't told you be this person and then you go in there and you have to try and be person. They're we put you on this show because we love who you are. So it sort of gives you a bit of confidence too to just go in there and be who you are. And you can't please everyone. Some people might not like you, but I feel sometimes when you are who you are and you bring that energy, people become to like you too. They might be a bit standoffish or whatever at the start, but if you do sort of really just be yourself and put yourself out there, people go, you know what, respect, and they grow to like you a bit more or grow to find out who you are.
Yeah. Well, I feel that's exactly how you were not betrayed, but how it happened in the island where when you first arrived, people were oh yeah, yeah. And then they were oh my God, he's amazing. You were a catch with the ladies.
Yeah, I think the budgie smugglers and the mullet at the start threw them off a bit because, they all sort of didn't step forward. And I thought, when I went in there, I said, there's two things that I want to happen. I don't want to be the first dumped.
Yeah.
And I want someone to at least step forward to me on day one.
Fuck. How did that feel when they didn't step forward?
Honestly, like, I feel like I am a very confident and, like, not much phasing me, but literally going in there, that first scene, and, like, all my mates talk about it, they could tell, like, I was actually nervous, and I never, like, get sort of, like, nervous or, like, stage fright or anything, but it is so confronting, literally walking through these doors, the whole build up to it, and then you've got, you know, I think there was 6 girls or 7 girls there with Sophie Monk just, like, staring at ya, and then, like, whispering, and you don't know what they're saying, and all that sort of stuff, so it was, like, crazy, but, yeah, at the end of the day, like, that's just, like, 10, 20 minutes of that time, and then I know once you open up your mouth and people get to know that things change. So
Yeah. But in that moment when they didn't step forward, was there anything going through your mind?
well, straight away I was just like, there's the one of the 2 things I didn't want to happen. It's happened straight away. I bet you I'll be going home now too first.
Really? Did you think you were going to go
Well,
home?
I was just like, you know, like, no one stepped forward, you're just like, that's a kick in the guts, but
Yeah.
like, you do back yourself, like as you've seen, like, later on, it was a completely different story, but it's just like, it is a kick in the guts, but it's sort of, I think it even motivated me more to be like, righto, you need to get your chat on point with these girls because you haven't won them over with your looks just yet, so you're going to have to win them over with your words.
And boy, did they get won over. And it was such a power move when you paired up with Claudia, and she would, like, at first looked so hesitant, and then when she got dumped from the villa, she was so sad that you were, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I know.
The roller coaster of emotions here.
And you just go to show you can't, you know, judge a book by its cover. There's a lot more to people than what perceives the eye. Is that what you say?
I think
Something
so.
like that.
One would say that. So I just want to go back to before you were on Love Island. First of all, what is Love Island for people who don't know what that is?
So Love Island is basically a reality TV show where they throw at the OGs, they call it, so the people that start in there, they throw 6 boys, 6 girls in there, and they're on a quest to find love, basically, on an island they filmed it in Mallorca in Spain. It's spelt different. I used to stuff it up all the time. I still stuff it up. Yeah, we're in Spain, so it's basically just find love, you got to make it to the end, but what they do is Love Island, like the producers, that they throw in stuff to, like, literally, I don't know, it's so hard to explain because you have to be in that sort of like place to understand, like, the emotions and the trauma bonding you go through with everyone and just all sorts of things in there. So basically, you know, you might be happily coupled up with your partner, and then this, you know, new bomb, so a new guy comes in, you know, he's 6'4", he's got whiter teeth, he's got bigger muscles, he's got better chat, he comes rolling in the door, and, you know, your missus that you coupled up with goes, yep, that's my guy, and just dumps you, goes for him. You're left single, vulnerable. They normally do like a fire pit where a couple, if you're not in a couple, you get dumped. So it's basically just like trying to find someone, but at the same time, if you do have someone, by staying loyal to them, not being tempted by every person that comes in.
It's like a test to your relationship.
Yeah.
What about this person?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm happy here, but I wouldn't mind testing the waters here.
Oh my God. So what the heck made you want to apply for this show?
So basically, I didn't really want to apply for it. My sister did. My sister was the one really pushing me to apply because I just moved up to the Gold Coast from Country Vic. And I was probably been up there for 6 months, and I just got a job, like a really good job that I wanted, and I was loving life up there. Like, I absolutely love the Gold Coast here. And she's just like, you know, why don't you apply? And I'm like, because I'm really content with life right now. I've just moved from Country Vic to a Gold Coast town. Like, imagine a country boy in, you know, Burleigh Heads. Like, it's ridiculous. The Sheilas and just the whole atmosphere. It's crazy.
The Sheilas, you're so country.
So I was just like, I love this place. Like, I don't really want to do it. And she's just like, well, just give it a go. And I was down for the Easter weekend. So it was April. I moved up in January, went back for Easter to catch up with family. And she basically helped me do the application.
Was it a big?
It is a big process, yeah. It's a lot to it. And we got up to me having to do like a video, and I was like, nah, not happening. So I caught my flight home back to the Gold Coast and was like, I'm not finishing my application. And then my sister was probably every couple of days sending me a message, do your video, like, have you done your video? And one of these times she sent me the message. I just knocked off work and I was in my tradie gear and that. And I'm like, oh, you've caught me at the best but worst time. Like, I'll quickly go throw a shirt on and I'll do this video. So I chucked a shirt on, did my video.
What'd you say in the video?
They basically just give you prompt questions on, you know, like, what's your type of woman? Like, what's your favorite personality traits? What's your favorite look traits? Tell us a bit about yourself. Like, tell us a bit about your sex life. Like they just sort of want you to basically just like open up a bit and basically just, like give it balls to the wall sort of thing. Like let them really know that like, this is why I'm a great candidate for Love Island, like all that sort of stuff. Basically just pump your own tires up and tell them what you like about the opposite sex, really.
Yeah. Damn. So you did this fully just being like, I'm just doing this to please my sister.
Yeah. I was just like, all right, I'll just quickly smash this video together. I sent it to her and it was like, this is what I sent in. She's like, yep, sweet, that'll do. Did the application. Obviously, that was like right at the end. Then a couple of weeks later, got an email. It was like, we love what we see. We'd love you to come in and meet the producers. Can you book an appointment sort of thing? Yeah.
When you got that email, were you like, sorry, what?
Yeah, I was just like, surely not. So I like straight away rang my sister, like, you wouldn't believe it. She's like, what? I'm like, I just got an email. I'm going in to meet the producers, like, for this thing, like, to go the next stage. She's like, that's awesome. Long story short, I went in there. It was in Brizzy. I knocked off work and just went over there, and it said like, bring like smart dating, like casual, and like all these things. And I just finished work, so I just brought like a plain tee like I'm wearing today. And I was like, they're just gonna look at me and laugh. Like, and the main thing that made me think that is because I walked in and Callum was the one before me, so we had back to back together. So I walked in and Callum's in there with his eyebrows done, his hair perfect. He's in like
teeth.
he's in like nice shiny teeth, and he's in this really like, have you seen like his stuff he wears, his UK style?
Oh.
Like Callum's got like a whole different style. So
okay.
Yeah, like it's just like a really UK style compared to me. So I rocked in there and just went, not a chance I'm getting on this show. Like, look at this geezer I've just walked in on. He's gone in and like his accent and that, and he went in there, did his bit. I went in there, did my bit, rang my sister and I said, there's no chance I'm getting on this. Like, you should have seen who I was up against.
Yeah, but you were up against like the premium of premium.
Yeah, but like for me, like I've never done any of this. I've never watched it. I was just like, is everyone like this? I don't know that goes on this show. Anyway, couple weeks or whatever went by and I get a call and it's like, yep, we love what we've seen. We want you to do, some medicals, some psych tests, just some background tests basically to make sure you're not a psycho. They're not putting just some psycho in there. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, did all those tests and then that's when I got a phone call off the main producer one day and he's just like, hey, how you going? I'm like, yeah, good. And he's like, do you know who this is? I'm like, nah. I'm just like, you're going to Spain. And I was like, what? He's like, oh, I just got this new job. Like, I don't know. And he goes, Jordan, you're going to Spain. Do you know the opportunity you've just got? Don't say if, buts, or maybes, only absolutes.
Don't thousands of people apply?
Yeah, I think they get heaps.
I can imagine that they get heaps. Because I think Love Island is one of the biggest watched reality TV shows.
Yeah, like the UK is massive. And then for Australia, it's probably up there as like the biggest for sure. Maths is very big too, but it's like way different to like Love Island. It's like Maths is like very drama filled and like crazy.
Yeah. Maths. Yeah. Love Island. Yeah. So when you got that call, what was going through your head?
It was just like, I don't know. It was sort of like, it's hard to explain. I just like, obviously like in disbelief, but at the same time, it's just like, whoa, like, is this happening? Like, it's just so much disbelief. And then you sort of got to change your mindset from whoa to like, okay, like, what do we got to do here? And when he called me, he's like, oh, we're flying you out in 4 weeks. So you got a month.
You only had a month?
Yeah. So I was like, holy. And I was like, I hadn't trained because like talking to the boys now, like when they started the applications, they were in the gym, they were dieting, like they were there. But for me, in my head, I never thought I was getting on. I was just doing it just as like, whatever, like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like whatever, I'm not that fussed. So I never like trained. And then I thought when he gave me the call, I'm like, okay, so I got 4 weeks to get my like body TV ready, and it was not in any sort of shape to go on TV. So I was just like, oh well, there's no chance of turning this thing around. So I just went in there as it was.
Oh no, yeah. We love that. A lot more real.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. You get what you get.
You get what you get. Okay, and then could you tell anybody about it?
No, you weren't meant to tell anyone. I told my best mate, my mum and dad, and my sister, obviously.
Yep.
And that's it. So luckily for me, I was working in the mine, so I was doing FIFO. So I told everyone that I was going to do like a long stint, like a 6-week stint in the mines, and I was going to a remote area with no reception.
Nice.
So,
actually,
so
that
for
works
me,
so
it
well.
worked so well. Where some of the other people just went full rogue, and people like, what the hell's going on? Others had to like make up the most bullshit stories of why they're going like, oh, I'm going traveling, but I'm not going to have any reception, or I didn't buy a SIM or whatever. Like it was hard because like, I think Love Island knew that you'd have to tell a lot of close people because, like, if you were renting, like, say, with a couple of friends, like, you're going to have to tell them because you can't just disappear for, 6 weeks and they're going to start getting worried. They're going to make calls, blah, 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 all that stuff. So they understand you got to tell very close people, but you can't go and make a status on Instagram or Facebook and, and be like, hey, I'm going on Love Island this year because obviously that ruins the surprise and all that sort of stuff. And we have to sign confidentiality stuff.
Confidentiality stuff.
What is it?
Confidentiality.
Confidentiality. Yeah,
I'm not sure. And wow, this is
English
amazing.
isn't my strongest point.
It's not mine either. Don't worry. So when you got out, and did people still not know?
Yeah. So
holy fuck.
Our season was the first one they pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So I think we had a month between recording and airing, which honestly was probably the best thing ever for us because talking to the last seasons and that, they come out of such an heightened emotional, like it's literally, it takes you a while to actually get over that. Like, honestly, like I had withdrawal systems, like leaving there, it was like, I never want to leave. Like the relationships you make in there and just how much, like you're literally in Spain, you meet all these beautiful people that are very like-minded people. We're all got big personalities. We're all not afraid to say it how it is, all that sort of stuff. You really, like I was saying, trauma bond, like the connections you make in there, you can't make anywhere else because you'll never be in that situation where your feelings are getting, ripped apart and you're feeling really high one moment, then boom, you're feeling really sad, like all those sort of things. So coming out of it was actually really good to just not have the publicity and like that sort of like fame straight up. It was like you got to go back, wind down, reflect. Love Island were really good. They had people that would like contact you, how you going, all this sort of stuff. So it was really good to like wind down. And even in that month, we were like flying interstate to see everyone because like we were like so used to being with everyone, then all of a sudden, boom, you're like all back in your own states. So we were like flying and getting in trouble by Love Island because we get like emails that like you can't be seen together because like obviously like if something got leaked and they found out, say Phoebe was on Love Island and they see me, Mitch, Phoebe and like Jess down at the beach at Bondi, people might go, oh, Jordan must be on it too, you know what I mean? Like put two and two together. So like they were a little bit shitty with us doing that, but at the same time we were like, we've filmed your show now, we're like, we've done what you wanted, we need to see each other and no one's going to know. Like we're nobodies. Like the only person that was well known was Al on there. So he was very like a lot more strict because if people saw Al and then seen him with a whole random bunch of people like us, they'd be like, oh, Al went missing for a while. Now he's with all these randoms, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was so good from that, having that break, getting to like see each other and really like wind down on the experience. And then it was like we got to relive it when it got aired as well. So like the first episode, there was like 6 of us that all flew to Bondi and we all watched it together. And yeah, it was like really good. And then like obviously we flew back and we'd be like talking to our group chat, be like, oh my God, I can't believe they aired this and all that sort of stuff. So it was like really good to sort of relive it. But at the same time, there was a bit like, oh, I didn't know you said that behind my back sort of thing.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So it was good. But I feel like our cast was very down to earth and we really were really good together. So it was like things that like could really kick someone off. It was like people just went, I understand the situation. I understand how they said it. And if things were out of context, people I knew that it was a little bit different to that sort of thing. So
that's good. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think our season, from looking at all the others and finding out like the dramas they had, like we've had barely any dramas compared to a lot of the other seasons, which has been really good.
So good. Very refreshing.
Yeah. And good for me because I don't really enjoy that stuff anyway.
No, I could imagine you being like, she said this.
Yeah.
And then what was it like kind of when the first episode aired? I'm assuming you suddenly got like a lot of followers. What was like kind of the biggest jump that you got?
It actually seems to be when the show's over that you get the most followers. I think people that really enjoy Love Island, they'll watch the whole thing before they might like you at the start, but they're like, hang on, there's still a lot that he could, fuck up. Yeah, where I might hate him soon. He might do something wrong by a girl or say something that I don't like. So I feel like sort of later on when the show ends, like I know like Austin, Claudia, Mitch and Phoebe, Maddie and Callum, like the finalists, like we all went to Sydney and watched, well, not all of us, but nearly majority of us went to Sydney to watch the final together, the finale. And like we were like scrolling, like refreshing, and like theirs were going up by like 10,000 like every time they refresh and stuff like that. Like, so they went from like 50,000 to like 100,000 in that like 5 minutes after the show aired.
Oh my God. That's wild because it's not like a slow burn where you're actively trying to get followers and you're used to the engagement. It's just suddenly like 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get like followers throughout the like season and that, but there's a lot do come right at the end because I feel like people do like want to wait until the end to be like, do I like you? And I feel like as well, if you don't make it to the end, it's sort of like, oh, you didn't make it to the end. Yeah. Sorry, I'm only going to follow the winners or finalists.
Savage.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have some juicy cues for when you were in it.
Yep.
So let me get the old lappatage out. I should really print this. It would be a lot more professional, Okay, so, wow. First question is, were you ever worried about how they would portray your personality? You know how they can take snippets?
Yeah, I don't think I was worried about it because, again, like touching on how I went in there, like I went in there who I was, and I feel like who I am, I'm not someone that would be portrayed as such.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that like I could like be a lot like crazier and looser in there and stuff like that, but at the same time you're in there to try and find love, so it's not like, you know, if there was no girls in there and I was getting filmed with the boys, like it'd be a lot crazy, you know what I mean? But the situation you're in, it's like you got to know when to act up with the boys and you got to know when to like, you know, use your emotions and really connect with the girls as well.
Yeah, you were great at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed all your beautiful personality. Okay, has it ever, any bit of it, been scripted?
What does like scripted mean? Like there's never a time where you will be told to say something.
Yeah, okay. Or would they ever be like, can you just re-say that a little bit more dramatic?
They told me to re-say a lot of things because it didn't make sense. They'd be like, we can't air this because they're not going to understand what you're saying. Or I'd be like, because like us boys would be like panicking if we get I got a text, because I'll be like, I don't want to read that paragraph out because you know that like that's going to be on, you know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff in there happens that doesn't get aired, like so much, because we're filmed 24 hours of the day, and they like jam that in. So like when we get that text, we know that when we're talking, that's going to be like aired. So like we'd be all sitting there like feeling that there might be a text today, like it might be a challenge or something might be happening, and us boys would like, we meant to keep our phones on and we'd be like purposely like throw it over in the couch and then like walk over there so the producers might see we don't have it on and not text us. But yeah, there was times where like I'd be reading the paragraph out and stuff a few words up and they'd be just like, righto Jordan, take a deep breath and do that one again. So I'd be like, have to be like, all right, today, like, Jordan, you're going on a date with Stella, you know, blah, blah, blah. Cause
okay, so it's more the reading stuff, not when you're actually speaking to
so like, yeah, it would never be
guy.
like have a conversation with you, say like in the TP or something, and then they're like, talk over the thing and be like, Jordan, can you say this or can you say that, but not in that words. They'll literally, you could sit there for an hour and talk about nothing they'll use and they'll just not use it. Like, they're like, I feel like so much happens in there, they don't have to push to try and get anything, if that makes sense. Like, we create our own drama, we kick off ourselves, we like people and then dump people ourselves. Like, I think the people that they put on the show, I think they know are going to give them what they want. And I feel like if they don't, they probably get booted off a bit earlier. But it's like we're also like crazy personalities in there. We're going to give them what they want, sort of thing. And that's why I think the casting process is so crazy. Because they're like, we can't put this person on TV and they just go quiet and they do nothing because it's just going to be...
It'll be boring.
It'd be boring.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. And what about the freaking fire pit? Because you know when there's like lots of tension and everyone's staring and it's like, do they say, all right, guys, just pause?
Yeah, so because we're all so bubbly and like obviously like you shit yourself when you go down there because it is crazy going down there. But then once we sit down there, you know, I might fart or something and people hear and have a giggle or like something might happen and then I'll be like, guys, you got to be serious because they do like to take probably like a 5-minute cut of us all standing there very seriously.
5 minutes you have to sit there and be serious.
Yeah.
Because that's a long time.
Because like, it's hard to explain, but there might be a situation that might like go down and then like they want to be able to take that really seriousness thing because we are so crazy personalities. They might not be able to like, we might be all like doing something that they, when it's really suspense, we might be like laughing or something to someone and then they're like, we can't use that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So basically that's the only thing is 5 minutes down that fire pit, we all shut up. They quickly take us all being real serious and then we can just get on with it because then they know they can use some serious parts when we're sitting there while shit's going down and we're all doing other things and fidgeting around and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. And is it like kind of not like Big Brother in the sense that there's no people there? Are there still producers and camera people there with lighting and stuff?
So the fire pits is the only time they get like one camera guy out there. There's like one camera guy that's got this really like cool thing that like sweeps through and stuff like that, where all the other ones are very like remote, like Big Brother, so you don't even know they're there.
Okay, so there's not really people.
There's not any camera crew that follow you around anywhere, so that's why it's so free flowing, because you don't, literally day 2 I was in there and I forgot the cameras were there.
Okay, so you do forget about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything I did in there I completely forgot, and when you rewatch it you're like, oh yeah, I remember doing that and all that stuff. Like, I don't think there was ever a time where it was like, oh Jordan, don't forget you're on TV here, because you just get lost in the moment, in the experiment.
Because I mean, all like you guys have no phones, you don't know the time.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
we eat when they tell us to eat, we sleep when they tell us to sleep.
Are you allowed to like have any entertainment, like reading or watching a movie or stuff like that?
No.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So like what do you do all day?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you're forced to, like, if you're not going to talk, you're going to sit there and watch the clouds go by.
Did you ever get bored?
No, because, like, again, like the casting, like the people I think that they throw in there, if I get itchy feet or something like that, I'll go and cause a scene by like getting the boys to play something, or I might go talk to one of the girls. Like, there's so many conversations you have not in your couple, and I feel like that's where people don't understand the relationships you make in there. You know, when like one of, you know, you might be coupled up, say, with like Jess, and then like Claudia leaves, and like you get so emotional because Claudia's leaving, even though you're coupled up with Jess, because you've had hundreds of conversations with Claudia in there. They just don't put it in there because, like, who wants to see you have to sort of like a random conversation that they know is not going to go anywhere, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
So like, you are so tight in there. Like, you literally are talking to everyone all the time. It's just like, yeah, you're always talking. And if you're not talking to the boys, you're talking to one of the girls. If you're not talking to one of the girls, you're having like a 4-way conversation about the randomest stuff in life. Because obviously, you know, like, if you like took your phone away with your friends and you sat there, like, you would have some really good conversations, because you think like when you do talk to your friends or when you're out, you sort of have a little moment where the conversation not going anywhere, and they pick up their phone and they'll have a little scroll. Well, you're forced not to be able to do that. So you literally have to start, all right, what do I want to talk about next? Or what do I want to ask this person? And that's why you find about their family, their traumas they've had in their life, what they want to do in the future, all this sort of stuff. Like, you literally become so close in there, because that's all you can do is talk, tan, and sleep and eat, really.
Eat, sleep, rave, repeat.
Yeah, legit. But there's no music either, so you don't get to listen to music.
Oh my god. Wow. When you heard music again, we like, ooh.
Oh my god. So when we did the challenges, we got a little like minivan to the challenge where the challenges like took place.
Yeah.
The girls would go in their van, we'd go in our minivan, and we had like, there was like a Spain guy driving that could barely speak English, but we just grabbed that knob and turned it full.
Oh, you were
and
like,
we just listened into Spanish music. We didn't even know what it was, but it was just literally like music to our ears. We're just like, yes. Wow. And we'd have the van like literally rocking up and down because us boys would just be in there pumping, and then we'd look back, the girls would be doing the same thing. Yeah, it was a massive, and I think they producers like that because we were getting so pumped up before the challenge.
Yeah.
So I think it's, you know, everything they do is for something. They're not dumb.
Strategy.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds, well, apart from the stress of like having to find love and all of that, kind of sounds like quite nice that you don't have to make like any decisions of what to eat or what to do that day, what time to go to bed, you know, when you have no phone.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's such a roller coaster because you can be in there having these great conversations with people, high on life, and then next minute a text comes through and there's a new bombshell coming thing. So all of a sudden you're threatened. What about if this chick really likes my dude? What about if this guy takes my girl? Then, you know, he does come in and the first girl he pulls for a chat is your girl. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're one big happy family in there. You're all sweet. You're all comfortable. And this new person comes in and it just throws a spanner in the works and it turns it upside down. So that's why the ups and downs, it's like so much fun. But the people that can't handle the downs or really do cope badly with the downs can really have an effect on them, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, because it's the only thing that's happening in your life. So, like, you don't get to zoom out and see the bigger picture.
There's no reflection in there. There's no time to sit back and talk to your mum and dad and say, hey, look, I really like this girl, but she's been talking to this guy. Like, what should it? Like, there's none of that. And even in there, it's hard to talk to everyone in there. You might have one really good friend in there, but you talk to the wrong person and it's going to get out, you know what I mean? Like, because and then that causes drama in itself. So
spicy. Yeah. Do you guys get to like work out?
Yeah, they had a little gym. I think this year's gym was the worst.
Oh, okay, guys. Noted.
It was shocking. Nah, look, honestly, grateful that we even had a gym, but it wasn't the best. But yeah, like us boys would try and like wake up in the morning and quickly do a session because like you never know what's going to happen in the day.
Oh, so you would never be told what day
Nah,
you're doing challenges? No.
Never.
Fuck.
Nah, that's what I mean. So you could be like really happy, and then boom, just you get a text randomly at 10:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, like at random times. So we'd always try and like wake up, quickly have our breakfast and do a session. So then we know if a challenge gets called straight away, we've done something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where if you thought, I'll do it later on, then that day's gone because so much would have happened and you never would have got time.
So always work out in the morning.
Win the morning, win the day.
Win the morning, win the day.
Yeah.
What was the food like?
Really good.
Was it?
Honestly, really good. Mitch and Tina obviously came in from last season. They were in Byron Bay and they said their food was nowhere near as good, so we're happy about that. But it was literally just like this buffet thing because obviously you never film us eating.
Yeah.
But they'll literally shut the cameras for like half an hour and give us time to just all eat. So we all just go up to the kitchen.
Would you ever say stuff, be like, oh, now that we're off camera?
No, they have people that come in and literally like watch over you to make sure you don't say anything.
Oh.
Like we'd get separated at times because like I'd be like talking and they would say and then you'd like talk a little bit after a couple of seconds. I'm like, nah, separate, and you like have to go somewhere
because
else.
they want you to say it on camera.
Yeah, well, they don't want any content that they can't say. Or if you be like, Callum, I'm going to do this tonight, like a bit of a strategy or a plan or something, then they're going to go, well, hang on, we want to be able to see that, or we want at least to be able to like dictate it, you know what I mean?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So you'd have to just like eat in silence.
Well, like like they said, you can talk about anything that's not relevant with the show. So like we had a really good, I don't even know what we called them, but like the guys that like came in to look after us, they would like give us riddles.
Oh.
So like we'd sit at lunch and they'd give us some riddles.
That's
and like
so cute.
You don't
like the
cast,
staff?
Yeah. And you don't cast the smartest islanders, so we're all sitting there struggling to get these riddles. And you should have seen how happy we were when we got a few of those riddles. It was so much fun. We'd be sitting there scratching our heads for like 15 minutes, and then there was only 5 minutes left, and we were back in there, so it was fine.
That just reminded me of the best bit of when Claudia was leaving the island, or when she thought she was leaving the island, and then you were like, and I might even read my first book or something like that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, Claudia was like a real book nerd, and I've never read one before, but yeah, sorry Claudia, I still haven't read one.
Ever? You've never read a full book?
Nah, at school I used to try and like find out what movie or something like that, or I'd talk to the smart girls and get them to give me the tea.
It's a really good strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't even looked at these questions. I'm so involved. Okay. Oh. Wow, we've hit a lot of these. Okay. Oh yeah. I am really curious about this. Was there like a pamper thing? Like as in for you guys to get your haircuts, or girls for their bikini lines, or makeup, or do you know what I mean? Like did you guys ever get like touch ups?
I think there was a Spanish, obviously my hair, I never need to cut it because I just like do my own bits if I need to, but it's a very rugged look, where the guys that have like really clean cuts, there was this Spain guy that I think came in and like cut their hairs, but the trouble was apparently it was really bad. So a lot of them like didn't trust him, and like that asked for an Australian haircut that we get here, and like he just didn't understand it. So I think they were very like scared to be like, bro, I'm on reality TV here. Like if you cut this thing wrong, I'm gonna look like an idiot. So there was that. The girls literally got, so like like you see us get ready for a night.
Yeah.
They literally probably had half an hour maximum ever to get ready. That's their full makeup and get into a dress. Like. You'd think being on a reality show, they'd give them 2 hours to look their best.
Yeah.
No way. It was literally, shit would be going down. We'd just get back from a challenge or something. They'd be like, all right, you got half an hour to be ready for the night. And we'd, like, us boys, a little bit all right. For me, easy as, like Callum and all those, like, pretty boys, they were, like, stressing too. But, yeah, I take my hat off to the girls. They were, like, scrounging up there trying to get their shit together.
Yeah, that's not long.
Yeah.
I think it takes, like, an hour to put makeup on properly.
Yeah, no, half an hour I reckon max they would have had. And they were so strict this year with what we could wear. So I'd have my full kit on, and you'd hear the girl, like the fashion girl, she'd be like, no, Jordan, take that off and wear something else.
Wait, is she like a voice?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So we'd be
she's
like,
just like watching you and saying,
yeah. So I'd just hear, we'd be like, because us boys got ready in the bedroom because there was only one bathroom upstairs, and like no way would we want to step foot in that place while those girls were getting ready. So we were all down in the bedroom doing our thing, and they were up there. And yeah, we just literally have this voiceover. Oh, don't you think you've got a nicer shirt than that, Jordan? Or like, Mitch, those jeans are very baggy. Like, you sure you want to wear them? And like, trust me, this will look better and all that. And like, we were like, I remember me and Mitch like cracked shits one time. We're looking up in the camera and like, you hired me for me. Let me wear what I want to wear.
Yeah. So do they?
It's just like color. Like if there was 2 blues, they'd be like, someone's got to change.
Someone's gonna change.
Yeah. Or like if I had a blue shirt on like this, like, collar, where's your button up? Like, they want a button up instead of a shirt.
Wow.
And I'm so basic. I took the littlest clothes in there. I'm pretty sure my sister helped me pack because I was like, I don't know what to wear. And like, this is not me, you know what I mean? So like, I struggled so much, but luckily like the Love Island people gave me like a fair few shirts to wear.
Yeah. I was going to say, do they go through your wardrobe and be like, okay, you need a bit more?
The girls get a lot of stuff gifted to them. The boys, it's lacking.
Yeah, guys, we need to step up.
I know. They look after the girls a lot better.
Didn't you wear like the 9 to 5 shorts or something?
Yeah, well, like I'm a very basic guy. Like I'm wearing them right now, to be honest.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, like I just like, they're just comfy shorts. I wear them like every day because again, like they last, and I don't go out and just buy random shorts. So I'm just like, buy this and I just wear them like everywhere, sort of thing. So yeah, I had them on because they're comfy, and yeah,
there you go.
I like them. Shout out.
Did you ever play the game to kind of win instead of win in love because you didn't apply being like, I really want to find love? You were like, yeah, sounds like a fun time.
Well, like my sister wanted me to apply for the reason that I'd been single for like 1.5 years, nearly 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So she was like, like it wouldn't hurt to, you might go find love in there. So I obviously went in there with an open mind. I go through life with an open mind about everything. Like if it's going to be, it's going to be, let it happen. Don't ever have a closed door because you don't know what you might miss out on. So I went in there thinking I could find love. And for sure, imagine finding love on TV. Like, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But obviously at the end it didn't happen. So like it is sad, but at the same time, the things that happened in there I was so grateful for. Like it's like, I didn't find love, but the friendships in there I'll cherish forever, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. But when you were in there, you were like, okay, let's try.
Yeah, for sure, when I was in there. And that's the thing, like, in the real world, like, you might be coupled up with a girl and you can, like, go away and, like, this isn't working. But in there, you need to go, okay, like, I feel like it's not working, but let's give it a shot from a different angle. Let's, like, open up my mind here and, like, not forced to, but it's like, you don't just give it one crack and go, nah, it's not for me. You literally like do really like sort of pour your heart out, or like really like go, okay, I'm going to really give it a shot here and try from different angles. And then if it doesn't work, then you're like, okay, like I've actually given it a fair hot crack here. I just don't think it's the one for me. I can't do it. But there were a few in there that sort of like played the game a bit near the end and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Do you guys get paid?
You do get paid to be in there, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to know or no?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say
no,
that,
that's fair. I'm really pushing the buttons.
Yeah, pretty loose lips, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I respect that.
But yeah, I feel like they've got to pay you something because like a lot of us have rental, we have like house mortgages, like you need to cover something because or else a lot of people would go like, oh, I'd love to be on your show, but I can't. Like literally what, am I meant to like pay my rent and I'm not even there, or like put up an Insta and be like, hey, I'm going away for 6 weeks. Can someone fill my, bedroom for then? And then it's like, that's a bit like people are going to go, oh, why are you going away for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, guys, if I'm ever going away for 6 weeks.
If anyone needs to room my rent out for 6 weeks, you know why.
You know why. I'm discreetly hinting.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa, all right, let's go back to the written questions. Oh, yeah. Did they encourage you to wear swimwear only? You guys were just always naked. Not naked, but...
Yeah, so I get this a lot just in general, but like they're just like, why are the girls always wearing bikinis? Like, surely, but it is hot in Spain and we're like peak summer. I don't reckon it got below like 30 degrees the whole time. That's night, day, morning, the whole thing.
Oh, my God.
There was days that like we was like sweating in there. So like it's honestly so hot. There might be like a time where we might chuck a jumper on. I think someone might have, and they'd be like, over the speed, they'd be like, do you really need to wear the jumper? And it's like, no, I don't. But like, and they're just like, well, can you take it off? And it's like, yeah, no worries.
I love
but
this.
like even the swimwear, like me going in my budgie smugglers, I don't really wear budgie smugglers very often. That was like them wanting me to wear it. So they asked me and I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. Like I'll wear whatever. Like in my intro video, I was wearing nothing. So like, I don't really care.
What do you mean you're wearing nothing?
Oh, it only shows a tiny glimpse, but in like the first episode, my intro video, I got out of like the isolation hotel that I was in, and they said to me, they're like, oh, like we want to film you naked on your intro. Is that okay? And I sort of was like, oh, naked. I was like, look, reality TV, you'd only do it once. I was like, yeah, whatever, like, I'm all right. And like, oh, it's all right, like, you'll be naked, but you've got a cowboy hat over your junk.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I was like, they drove me to this beach, and it was like full, like I'm pretty sure Germany were in their like holidays or whatever. So there was German people all over this beach, and I had to be naked filming this thing with the camera crew and all that for my intro. So that was pretty like crazy. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you only live once.
Oh my God. Yeah. You sound like you're like, yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they sort of like, and that's like another thing, like going in there, we had to like, before we went in, we had to see all the publicists and stylists and all that, because obviously if I picked my favourite shorts and they're blue, and then Mitch picked his favourite shorts and they were blue, they wouldn't be like, oh, we can't have two guys walking in with blue shorts, you know what I mean? So like there was a lot of things like leaning, not when we were in the villa, we could all wear red if we wanted to or something like that, but like coming on that day one, they all had Pacific outfits for us.
Yeah, because day one's very
special.
Very special. Yeah. What was going through your head on day one?
It was pretty crazy. I feel like, so you spend a week, we all spent a week in a hotel isolated before going in.
And you didn't have your phone on you?
3 days of no phone. So it was like we landed, had like 3 days with our phone, and they took a phone off for the last 3 days. We weren't allowed to go down and get our meals. Like we had chauffeurs. They would take it, like bring our meals to our room, and we're allowed to go to the gym or outside for 45 minutes a day. So I feel like that week, when you were ready to go in, you were ready to go in. And I feel like they do that purposely. So it's like, let's put you in here where there's no contact with anyone except your chauffeur. And when you had your phone, you could like still be messaging your family and stuff. And then they literally throw you in. And it's like, you're ready sort of thing. It's like, I haven't been able to mingle. I'm used to mingling all the time. So I feel like sort of like day one, you're ready to mingle. But at the same time, you're like, holy shit, like this is going to be crazy. But at the same time, you got to realize those 5 boys that are sitting there are in the exact same position you are.
Yeah.
And those 6 girls are in the exact same position that they, like you are as well. Like they're up there. They got no idea who going to be there, who they like the most, like all that sort of stuff. So like you are all in the exact same situation. It's not like someone's up there that's done it 6 times that sort of knows what they're doing and knows what they're up for.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like everyone was so lovely. And like on yours, when you were like picking Claudia and she mentioned about your mullet or something, and then the boys all like said like, I love a mullet, or like Callum was like, I'll step forward. I was like, oh, they seem so beautiful.
I don't know about the other seasons. I haven't watched any of it, but I feel like from hearing and like the dramas that some have and stuff like that, our season was so close knit as well. Like we all got along so well, and if there was a bone to pick, we was like sort of man enough to go and pick the bone, and there was not a whole lot of bitching behind, where people had the time to like, obviously all that gossip and bitching happens, but there wasn't anything so dramatic that really, you know, boiled someone's water.
Yeah. What about alone time? Did you ever get any of that? And did you ever crave any of that?
Yeah, I guess you do crave your alone time, but at the same time, it's like so go that like you crave your alone time, and then that thought goes out within half an hour because something will happen and you'll sort of just like forget about it.
Yeah.
Unless, I guess, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Other people might really like think about it and just like keep with them. But for me, I'll sort of sit there, think about it, and then I'll be like, well, it's not going to happen. So why like dwell on it? I may as well just get out there and kick on. So
yeah. And what about sleep? I've heard that they try and minimize your sleep so that you're more emotional.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like you can look at it anyway. I feel like, yeah, they could be definitely doing that. Like, we're up until like 3:30, 4:30 in the morning and then going to bed around then. So, like, I feel like you're probably delusional too. You've been up for so long, you're tired, but like, in the villa, there's no like dark spots. Like there's light, and you've probably like seen it. Like there's bright lights, LEDs everywhere. Like that's like tiny compared to like what's around the villa.
So this isn't a lot.
Well, they didn't have any like major lights like that, but they just had like LED like strip lights everywhere. So I feel like even though it was 4:30 in the morning, we didn't know, for one, because you never know the time, and 2, it's just so bright. It's not like, you know, everyone starts turning their lights off and there's maybe one kitchen light on where it's like, oh, it must be that time. It's like bright, full time. So it's just like go. And yeah, I guess you just get caught up in it.
And did you ever think that you guys weren't getting enough sleep? Because you, so you did realize you were like,
oh yeah, where it was like the lights would turn on in the morning, like you've seen how like they're just like bright. It's from a dark room to pitch bright, and it's just like pitch black from bright, and it's just like whoa, and everyone's like, I don't want to get up, but like You just do. Like, we know the drill. I think one morning we knew we were going to bed so early because I think Mitch went out to went to the toilet or something. It was like out a little bit, and he could see like down the corridor. It was like a little bit bright, and he could hear the birds starting to chirp.
Oh no.
So I think he didn't say anything, luckily, but I remember talking to him after. He's like, yeah, we definitely were like just about sunrise and we were just going to bed. And even like this girl would talk over the speaker. We'd like, the lights would dim, like ready for us to go to bed, but we'd be all buzzed up from what happened that night. We'd be all gossiping or, like little couples and stuff like that. And then they'd have to say, guys, like, be quiet. You don't realise how late it is.
Oh,
because like, they might want us to go to bed now, but at the same time, then we might have a different idea and we want to all stay up because we're all energetic or something.
Yeah.
Where it might be another night where we're all absolutely spent, but they want more content or they've got something planned for us, so they're keeping us up. So sometimes like it didn't line up. So they'd be like, go to sleep. And we're like, we're having fun.
You're like, I want to.
Yeah.
Jesus, that must take a major toll.
Well, especially someone from me, before I went in there, I was very routine orientated. Like I had like your normal tradie job. It's like you're waking up at a certain hour, you go on a gym, you're doing your day, you're having smoke at a normal time, you're having lunch at a normal time, you go to bed, like everything is in routine, to then all of a sudden just having none of that control and no routine. It definitely took a shock, but I felt like it was like you weren't yourself as well, because it was like you got sucked into this experiment. You couldn't do all the like really, what's the word when it's just like, reflecting and all those wholesome things that you can't do anything like that in there. So I feel like that sort of gets taken away from you and you sort of turn into, you're still like, Jordan, but you're just like a different version of it because you can't do those things that you're used to doing to sort of like, ground yourself and stuff like that. So that's why I feel like you do things that sometimes you look and go like, oh, like that's a bit crazy, but at the same time it's like in there it didn't feel crazy and it felt like it was the right thing to do then and there, and you're sleep deprived and all these things. So we might be like mumbling our words and not making sense, but in there you got to realize like it's not like we've like had an hour to be ready to go on that camera and say exactly how we feel, how we want. Like it's literally just bang bang bang.
Yeah. And when you go to like the hut
beach hut, yeah,
the beach hut, and you're doing like your debrief, is a human there cueing you?
It's just like a camera that sits up there and a microphone, and that's it. And you're just in a box room. So like a room exactly like this, with nothing in it but a camera and a microphone.
And are they cueing you though? Are they asking you?
So basically, say me and Stella were having like a real serious like intimate conversation or something, like really good content, and we finished. They would then call me and Stella, like there was 2 beach huts, they'd call us to the beach hut like straight away. So say if Stella was like telling me how she felt and I reciprocated and, we had a kiss or something like that, they would be straight in there and they'd be like, so Jordan, like, how'd you like the kiss? And then like you talk, it was so nice. And it's like, so where do you see yourself and Stella going now? Like they just like keep asking you questions, you'd go on for it. Same thing as if we went in and, recoupling and Phoebe H chose me and then now I'm not with Stella, then straight away like after that they'd take him in there and be like, how are you feeling? And you'd be like, oh, like crying or whatever it is, and be like, oh, I'm so sad and all this stuff. So they really do like grab you right at the moments when it's right out of the heat of the conversation, and they'll just like go in there so the emotions are flowing. Because if they ask you 2 hours later, have already talked to probably 2 of the girls already and be like, okay, I'll be right, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's like
you're like, I've reflected, I'm actually fine.
Yeah. They don't give you any time for that. So,
yeah. I've always wondered that. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, we are flying through these. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sex on the show. What was that like? As in, aren't you guys all in the same bedroom?
Yeah, so you're probably like as close as we are right now. It's probably like if you wanted to like reach your arm out and the other person reached their arm out, you'd definitely be touching hands.
Nice.
In speaking that, like we said, like in there, it was the best thing ever. Like, when you were back at like younger and you went to like big sleepovers, slumber parties, all that stuff, and how much fun it was. It was literally reliving that. It was like we all got to sleep in the same room, but at the same time, it's like when those lights dim, it's like you can either sit there and listen to what's going on, or if you may as well be doing it, and then like you sort of like, because like when you're concentrating on something, you sort of forget what's going on. Yeah. So it's basically like if you wanted to do something with your partner, you may as well do it then, or you'd literally be staring at the ceiling, listening at everyone else having fun.
Would everyone try and be like silent whilst doing it?
I guess you know to a certain degree that, you know, your mate's right next to you and the mate after that and after that and after that's there. So, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's not your normal sort of situation at your house where, you know, you can be a lot more vocal and do a lot more positions and stuff like that. When you're in there, it sort of covers over as quiet as you can without making it obvious, for sure.
Wow. What about for the first time you're sleeping with someone? You need to be like, what happens if you're on different pages? One person's like, yeah, we're going to sleep together. And the other person's like, oh, I thought we were just doing this, and you're not even speaking and communicating.
Yeah. Well,
like consenting.
Yeah. Well, they had the consent button, so you'd have to press the consent buttons. But
wait, what do you mean?
So this year, I think last year's they used to have to say it in their microphones. You know how we like wear the microphones everywhere?
Yeah.
This year they had a button on either side of the bed.
Wait, so they used to have to be like, I consent.
That's what they used to have to do, yeah.
That's so
now, our season, you'd literally just lean over, press the button, and then that'd be saying, like, obviously, like, there was paperwork and all that before you're saying, yes, I consent.
Wow.
And then in the morning, you'd turn your button off to be, like, ready for, like, the next night and stuff like that. So, yeah. So it made it a lot more subtle, too, because, you know, you start making out and, you know, it's getting a bit hot. You don't have to then go, oh, wait, I consent. You just literally reach over, press the button and keep going.
And do you both have to press it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like if there was times where like I'd press the button before like the lights would even go out and they'd be like, Jordan, like you're not allowed to press it until the lights go out. I was like, oh, sorry. Like I'm just doing the right thing, aren't I? So yeah.
Sorry, I'm just saying I consent.
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, I feel like that would be such like a funny thing. You're just staring at your man or your woman, you just press the button and they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like okay, we're going there, are we?
Yeah.
So yeah. But like everyone was in there just being like intimate and just like, you know, it's a very intimate show. Like you do form connections very quickly too, because like we always say a week in there's a month on the real world.
I can imagine, because you're spending every waking moment together.
Yeah, so like a day's a week and a week's a month sort of thing. Or even some people say a day's a month in there. But I normally go by like a day's a week and a week's a month.
Yeah, I like that. Mathematics. Yeah. That's good. Did you guys get coffee on there?
I don't drink coffee, but they would drink coffee, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
And all your water bottles?
Yeah. Oh, we were going through that because it is so hot and humid there. Like filling those things up all day and then peeing, like you're always going to the toilet. That's another thing. Like there's cameras in the toilet too, so like there's no privacy.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
There's cameras in the toilet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For even the girls?
Yep.
What? What if they period? What?
This is just a period. All girls get them.
Well, yeah, I know, but I would be like, can we not film this?
Yeah.
Really? But I swear they don't show any clips of you.
Nah, because who wants to see that, really, like when you think about it?
Well, then why do they film it?
Well, I think it's because if, say, me and Stella ran into the toilet, shut the door, they don't know what's going on in there. They might hear our voices, or we might quickly throw our microphones off. Like, they're preparing for, like, anything that goes on there because, like, you know, anything could happen in that toilet, and if it's good content or if it changes the whole script of how Love Island wanted to do it, then people are going to watch TV and go, Stella and Jordan were like so happy together. They went to the toilet. Stella might have ripped my head off or something for something. And then all of a sudden we don't like each other, but they can't film that.
Yeah.
Then they're going, well, hang on, they were besties and now they don't even like each other.
Right. Okay. So it's just like, just in case.
Yeah.
What about the showers?
There's a camera, but the shower glass is frosted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a moment where you were like, fuck this, why am I here?
No.
I want to leave. No, you never had a moment.
No, I loved it. Every single moment, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so what was it like leaving? Because when I am with people or on a holiday with a group of people and then I leave, I always get like PTSD, not PTSD, I get posts like, you know, like, oh my God, I can't even English. But do you know what I mean? I get sad because I'm not with them. Like, yeah.
It's a definitely struggle. Like talking to everyone that got dumped and stuff like that. It's really hard because you're in, again, such an heightened area and a place that you just like can't describe to anyone. Then all of a sudden it's like taken away from you and you're like back to reality, or like you're out of it. And I think the worst thing for probably the ones that got dumped earlier was thinking we're still in there doing our thing, or the guy you'll couple up with is still in there. Who knows who's he's going to get with if you really liked him or something. So like I feel like I obviously didn't encounter that because when I got dumped there was literally 3 nights left and it was like the finale.
Wow.
So when I got dumped they
I'm all good.
when I got dumped they said, hey, we'd like you to stick around for the finale. So they kept me in the hotel for 3 nights until the finale.
That's
Yeah.
good, because I feel like had they flown you back to Australia, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. Well, they said that. They go, look, there's a flight booked for you there, or we can change it and you can stay. Like, we'd like you to stay. And I'm like, yeah, 100% I'd stay. Which also was good because when I was in my hotel every night, a couple was getting dumped. And when they got dumped and they came back to the hotel, they'd let me, like, go see them the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, like, what happened? And they'd, like, fill me in and be like, oh, this happened. Like, and, like, obviously they'd tell me the morning, okay, like, Stella and Hugh got dumped, and then I'd be like, okay, and then like in half an hour I'll let you go like over and say good day to them and that, and then I'd go say good day, and I'm like, what happened? Like, how'd you get dumped? Who voted for who? Blah blah blah. And then the next night would come and another couple would get dumped, and then the next morning me, Stella, Hugh go over into their room and like have a chat and stuff. So yeah, that was like really good to sort of like, I got dumped, but it felt like every night I was getting reunited with them, and I knew I'd see them all on the finale. And then when the finale ended, I knew we'd all be back at the hotel before flying back to Australia.
Oh, that's really nice, because
Yeah.
otherwise, it would have been hard.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean that filming the finale?
So the finale, because it was pre-filmed, they filmed the finale. They filmed the finale, but they filmed 3 winners. So all 3 finalists filmed that they'd won.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So when it actually got aired and the Australia voted, they could then air whichever one got voted to win.
How many takes did that take?
3.
Oh, like, so they managed to just do it in the moment?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
was it awkward when they were like, yes?
Well, not for me, because I was just there cheering them on. So for the ones actually doing it, I guess it might have been a little bit awkward, like they don't actually know they've won, but at the same time, it's like, well, you could have won, so you may as well give it everything and pretend, like, show that you've won. You know what I mean? So that's probably the only thing that's on there that was, like, filmed, even though you're not sure if it was going to happen. But, like, you have to do that if you want live voting.
Yeah, because I always wondered. I was like, are our votes fake?
Yeah.
But no.
They're
They're
real.
not. That's the ultimate manifesting.
Yeah, legit. But like, I would feel crazy. Imagine like doing that experience, being in the finalist, and then going home having that like thing, thinking like we could still win this. For me, like I knew I got dumped. I was single. You're not going to win at single.
Yeah.
I like there was no like, oh, like when it actually finishes airing, I've got a chance of winning this show. So I reckon it'd be pretty crazy for those 3 to be like,
true. Like the whole month waiting.
well, the whole month waiting, then airing for the whole 2 months of airing, and then finding out. So it's like 3 months of unknown.
True. And then because you were on the Gold Coast, which like, it's poppin', what up? When it first aired and throughout the whole show, when you were just living your life, would people stop you on the street and be like, hey?
Yeah.
And you probably weren't allowed to say anything, were you?
Well, honestly, there'd be a few people who'd be like, spill the goss, like, what happened and stuff like that. But, like, I'd be like, oh, I can't tell you. Like, I was straight up to them. Like, I'd love to, but, I can't. There'd be people, I remember I was down partying in Byron Bay, and this group of people realised who I was, and the show was airing, like, still. And they're like, no way, like, you got dumped, that sucks. Because they seen me in Byron Bay, they thought that, because they thought it was real, like, in real time. So they thought, like, I'd been dumped and brought back to Australia. Like, no way, we're done. Like, oh, bro, it's all right. It's been pre-filmed. Like, we're all out of the villa. We're all done. They're like, oh, yay, you're still on.
Yay!
Yeah, so that was like encounters like that. Were pretty funny.
Did you ever get told that you couldn't like be seen hooking up with people because?
When we left the villa, it was like you cannot be with your couple. So like all the 3 couples that like finished together couldn't be seen together, because like if it did get out that Mitch and Phoebe were together, or one of them were on the show, and then all of a sudden she's with this guy, they would then know. So like I feel like it was really hard for the couples that were really couples when they left, because they can't just go from the show and like move in together or whatever. Obviously a lot of them were in different states too. Mitch and Phoebe were really lucky, they both lived in Sydney, so they could like see each other on the down low. But Austin and Claudia, one was in Sydney, one was in Adelaide. So you come off this in heightened area where you're together forever, you love each other, and then boom, you get flown back to different states, and you're like, you just can't be seen like together. Which obviously they still did, but it's like when they did, it'd be like Austin fly to Adelaide and stay in Claudia's like house for the whole like weekend. Or
we're not going to a cafe, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Wow. And have you like noticed a bit of, like you've got a decent amount of followers, and what's that like, kind of having like a bit of fame and a bit of like limelight on you all of a sudden?
It's a good and bad thing, I guess. Like back in the day, I was Jordan from Victoria. I'd play up and nothing would get talked about. And then like, I think it was a week into the the filming of Love Island, and I got pulled over. I was had a few beers with the boys, and I was in a golf buggy.
Nice.
And I was driving along the road, and I got pulled over by the cops and got done for drink driving in the golf buggy.
Oh, snap. What
Yeah.
state was that in?
Here in Queensland, on the Gold Coast, like up near Hope Island Way.
Yeah.
And like when I went to court for it, there was news presenters and everything. So like back in the day, if I had done that, no one would have cared. And then all of a sudden, I go to court and there's news presenters in my court date, and then film crew outside ready to like blast me when I get out to be like, you know, why'd you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, do you regret your actions? All this sort of shit. So like, the limelight's good, but at the same time, like I love it because like I love mingling with people. I love talking to people. Like I thrive off it. I like making people's day. I like making people, you know, someone comes up to you, they want a photo. Some people like, you know, just like, oh, I'm not getting a photo for me. Like things like that. I think of everyone's photo. It might be your 100th, but it's there first.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know, you might have had 100 photos. You go to a festival, you've had 100 photos. All you want to do is go like have a dance with the boys or whatever you want to do. And this person comes up. You might not be really feeling it, but you got to think that's the first time they've ever seen you, and that's their first photo they're getting where, like, you know, it's just like you just cop it on the chin, and at the end of the day, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be so weird when you go to, like, a festival and then
That's
there's
where
lots.
it's probably pumping the most when you're sort of in that sort of age era. Like, you know, you go
Yeah.
down the street, there's older people, there's people that don't watch show. Like, you'll get people, but when you're in sort of a festival area, that's very sort of like Love Island-y people in there. So, like, you'll get a bit of bombarded because there might be someone you're like, oh, my God, like, that's Jordan from Love Island. And then, like, someone else might hear that, turn around and then look at you and they go, oh, it is too. And then, like, they come. So then it's like a little bit of a snowball effect.
Yeah, you're like,
But you got to soak it up, you know, like it's good fun.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
How many chicks have blown up your DMs since you went on?
Yeah, it got
Look
very
at that
busy.
smile.
Yeah, it got very busy, but yeah, you just take it as it comes, and yeah,
Humble man.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead a few.
yeah.
And so you didn't find love on the island?
No, unfortunately,
Have you found love at the moment?
no, I haven't found love at the moment.
Oh, you haven't.
Love's a very big word for me. I'm a very
Okay.
slow burner and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't just jump straight into the frying pan. It's yeah, I'm a what's it, simmer? I'm a simmer.
I'm a simmer. Is there
Yeah.
someone simmering?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a simmer on the go.
He's got a
Yeah.
simmer. A situationship.
A situationship, that's the one.
I'm
Yeah.
acting as if you didn't just tell me before this.
Yeah, somehow
we'll-
you're taking the words right out of my mouth.
But we'll leave their name out of it.
Yeah, we can.
Confidentiality.
Confidential. Get them to do some investigating.
Yes. Yeah, guys, go find out who
Yeah.
the person is.
Yeah.
And what are you up to these days?
So basically coming off Love Island, there's a certain few that get to do club appearances. So you basically get paid, and clubs all around Australia get you to go to the club and do like a meet and greet, and then you party at the nightclub and basically have the time of your life. So me and Callum, Jess were the main ones that did them, and then Layla, Mitch and Phoebe did a couple in Melbourne with us, but me and Callum basically did them all together. So me and Callum
Jesus.
basically were going to Northern Territory, Sydney, Melbourne, Queensland here doing club appearances. So basically from as soon as the show basically finished airing to probably a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago from now, so probably like, what's that, December, January, February, March, going into April. So basically 4 months of just partying every weekend, me and Callum were doing club appearances. So that took up a lot of time, flying from state to state doing that. So yeah, that was basically life after Love Island. And now that's just stopped, and now I'm sort of just settling into like, you know, trying not to go out and drinking every single, because like, honestly, I like am so grateful for it, because I'm sure like everyone from Love Island would have loved to have done that, or like anyone in general would love to be getting paid to go travel. Like I've never been to Darwin before, I got to go to there and stuff like that. So I'm like so grateful for it, but like it honestly started taking a toll. Like you'd be partying from Thursday to Sunday, you know, like one night, and then you'd try and get some sleep, and then you'd be at the next club the next night and all that sort of stuff. So it was very like, took a very big toll on the body. So I'm definitely like trying to have a bit of a detox, but
Yeah.
definitely like don't regret any of the memories and all that was made. It was unreal.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad that you took up that opportunity.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it gets a lot.
Yeah.
Because drinking takes it out of you.
Oh, so much, yeah.
Mind, body,
Especially
soul.
like backing it up too, like drinking one night and then being hungover, but knowing you've got a couple of hours until you got to start again. I think it was really good. Me and Callum, like we became like really close. Like in the villa, we weren't that close, but as soon as we come out of the villa, we were like best mates. So getting to do it with someone has a lot of like we're like opposites. Like we're so opposite, but we're actually so the same people at the same time. So it's actually like really weird because like we have completely different looks, but at the same time we like do a lot of the things, like we have the same mindset as some things, and like we both love to really like party and have fun. So like we were both just like literally looked at each other the first night we did one. We're like, this is going to be the most epic time of our lives. Like, because you could go in there and someone might just not click, you know what I mean? And like clicking on a show and like clicking in real life is completely different too. So when we clicked doing those club appearances, we were just like, we're literally getting paid to have the time of our lives.
That's so awesome. So would people pay to like meet you guys at clubs?
Yeah, so like the club would go, all right, we're having Jordan and Callum here on this date. They'd then like promote it on their socials and be like, buy VIP tickets to have the chance to like meet them and greet them. So like every club would do it differently, but there'd be times where, like the first hour that we got there, we'd be like in a secluded area with people that have bought like VIP tickets, and we'd like have one-on-one conversations with them and stuff like that. So like, yeah.
Wow.
You'll like get photos, so that I have like a time where like, all right, meet and greet's over, Jordan, Callum stand here, and they just have a line of people and they just like get a photo, and then they'd go and the next person would come in, get a photo and stuff like that. And then the last like 4 hours or whatever, I'd be like, look guys, you've got your VIP booth, you can sit in there and, you know, chill out. But me and Callum aren't like that, so we literally would leave our booths, go straight to the dance floor and just party with the rest of the crew.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
That was so good for like public speaking and just meeting that many people and having to like speak to lots of people one-on-one.
Yeah, and I feel like me and Callum's personalities are like that. So like, again, that might have been something that these clubs thought when they were like, who are we going to get from the show to do these appearances? So like me and Callum like could talk underwater, you know what I mean? Like we're just like happy to have a conversation. If the room's low, we're happy to light it up and stuff like that. So yeah, I felt like we both were just like bouncing off each other, and even like Callum would be really hungover one day and I might have backed it up and been a bit better, and I'd lift him up. Then the next night I'd be like, bro, I'm not getting out of bed to go to this club appearance, and Callum would be already ready going, bro, hurry up, like let's go party, let's go have fun.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Is Callum from around here?
He's actually from Brizzy, yeah.
Oh, okay, Brizzy
so,
boy.
yeah, we've caught up a lot because of the club appearances, but we plan on still keeping in tight contact.
Tight contact, huge.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you like say like, yeah, party and stuff, because you also seem really wholesome and you do like lots of running and gymming and going to wholesome events. Like we met at when Didge and Mitch did that run.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was running and then I think like Didge was like, oh yes, this is Jordan. I was like, hi. And like, I didn't know who you were. I was like, the first thing I noticed was the mullet, and then I noticed the pearl necklace. And then I was like, it seems like a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, life, honestly, is all about balance. So, like, I really enjoy that, not party scene, but that, you know, mingling with friends, meeting new people, all that sort of thing. But I feel like if you don't have those really wholesome things down pat, then that can really, like, take control of you. So I feel like it's just, like, having that, really good balance between the two. Obviously, doing the club appearances, didn't have the balance there, but I knew it was for a certain period of time, so I knew just to take it on board, just go as hard as you can, do as well as you can, have as much fun with those people. They're all paying to see you. Like, no one wants you to go in and be like, oh, I've been doing these for the last 2 months, I can't be bothered. It was like, just grit your teeth, really go for it, and then you'll know when it's done. It's like, all right, tick that, you did well, now you can go back to, you know, some more wholesome stuff.
Yeah, you're like, this is just for a period of time, and now we can get back.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, we like to end the podcast with the Fast Five.
Okay.
Which is where I ask you a question, if you answer whatever first comes to your mind. But before I do, is there anything else you'd like to sprinkle into this conversation? Anything you'd like to piece out on?
No, just maybe if you see some marks on my top. I had a bit of a issue getting here today. I was riding my bike and my chain snapped, and I tried fixing it and got grease all over me, and just a classic Jordan thing.
It was so... Yeah, because you just text me something like really short, like might be late. I was like, yeah, he's straight to the point.
My hands were black and my phone was already half black, and I was just like trying to text something without having to like hold it properly.
So then I was just like, oh yeah, no dramas. Anyway, and then I hear like, hello, am I in the right place? And then I go out and I was about to hug you and your hands are all black and you're like, oh, I've had an accident.
Yeah. And then you were just like, yeah, for some reason I feel like this is a normal reoccurring thing. I'm like, yeah, this is the life of Jordan.
Yeah, I feel like chaos, but fun chaos. Yeah. Okay, the first question I have for you is, what are a few of your favorite habits that you have in your life that help you be happy?
Favorite habits? I think, I don't know if this is a habit. Yeah, but like glass half full person. It's not a habit, so I might skip
it
that
is, because it's a habit to look at the positives.
Yeah, so like glass half full, and like, like when you get like injured, like you hurt your finger or something small, or you cut yourself and you like can't really use that body part, and like how much you take for granted when you're fit and healthy. So I feel like sometimes I also wake up and it's like I've got 2 legs, I've got 2 arms, I can see, I can hear, like life can't be that bad. I feel like when you hurt yourself and like you see people in worse spots, you go like, your problems aren't that bad, and you look out at other people's problems, and I'm like, I bet you there's a million people out there that would swap shoes with me in a heartbeat. So that's like a thing that I always just like, always look at things like on the positives, and yeah, like your life's like, yeah, you might be going through some stuff, but is it really as bad as your mind's making it? Stuff like that. So yeah.
No, that's so true. I remember, hearing this quote where it's just like, if everybody put their shit in the middle of the room, you would take yours and run.
Shit. Yeah, legit.
And then you're like, yeah, that's so true.
100%. Yeah, that's I know that one. That's really good.
Love that. Okay, well, what is your favorite quote?
Favorite quote? So I've got this quote that my dad made up, I'm pretty sure, because I've never heard it before, but I just, those things that just stick by for life. My favorite quotes, I used to remember my dad always telling me, it's life is like a path of driven snow. Be careful how you tread it, for every mark will show. Be truthful, thankful, and kind, so you'll have no regrets for the path you left behind.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did you memorize that? This is quite a mouthful.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, I stuffed it up a little bit there. I probably should redo it because people might be like, what was that? But
you can go for it if you want.
Yeah. So it was like, life is like a path of driven snow. Be careful how you tread it, for every mark will show. Be honest, thankful, truthful, and kind, so you'll have no regrets for the path you left behind.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's just stuck to me because it was like something Dad said when I was a kid, and then just, those things just stick with you forever.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things.
Yeah.
It was just like, sort of like talking about snow, but really it's like, just go through life, because you look back and whatever you've done, it's going to show. So if you're not happy with it, you're going to be like,
Yeah. Okay. Gonna take that on.
Yeah.
I would ask you what your favorite book is, but I know you don't read books. But what's your favorite kind of place, whether it's a YouTube channel or podcast, that you like to learn from?
Yeah. So I'm a big podcast guy. I never really was until I probably moved. It was probably my breakup that I started the podcast the most. Definitely like healing podcast, relationship podcast, what to do after a breakup when I went through that in Victoria.
Yeah.
And then coming up here, it was a lot more sort of like motivated. Like I've gotten over that breakup. I did my healing now. It was more like, motivational stuff, like gym stuff, fitness stuff. So couldn't remember the names. Like I've got them all on my phone, but like I'm terrible with names and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a big podcast guy. I used to not really listen to them. Now I'm podcast when I run and music when I gym. Because I feel like when I'm in the gym, I'm like counting reps and all that. I can't concentrate as much.
Yep.
So I like to just listen to music. When I'm on my run, I feel like I can be a lot more open-minded. And I also feel like when I go on my runs and podcasts, a lot of time I don't listen to the podcast fully. I'll be listening to it and something will sort of trigger, and then I'll go into my own mind and I'll be thinking about my own life or like own sort of things that have happened, and then all of a sudden 30 minutes will go by and I've missed most of the podcast because that's something he said like triggered me.
No way. Yeah. Oh, you get into your flow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right, what is one of your life goals or big goals for this year?
Oh, big goals this year. Honestly, I haven't done a whole lot because my life has been so hectic. I've literally been living each day as it comes. I do live a bit like that, but I think my goal would be to eventually buy a house here in Gold Coast. I think this is the place that I want to at least buy a house and be here for a while. I've got a house down back in country Victoria, and I think, the next move, I'd love to sort of buy one here and have my own space up here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. The housing market is cray.
I know, and especially where I want to live, it's not fun.
Whereabouts do you want to live? In Burleigh?
Burleigh heads there, so like.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
Yep, literally.
Yeah.
I'm in Palmy, and
yeah.
Yeah, Palmy and Burleigh.
I love Palmy. I was in Palmy before Burleigh when I first moved up. I was with my cousin. He had a spot for me when I first moved up.
Oh, so
just
good.
near Tally there, and I love it.
Tally's so gorgeous. And then you're still close to Burleigh.
Well, that's why I feel like I love Burleigh too, because like when I first moved up, Tally and Palmy were like, mainly like Tally sort of there, and Burleigh were like because I used to like run from Palmy to Burleigh and back. So it was like, that was my like, this is where I am now, like from Country Vic, this is where I'm living. So I feel like it's got a little special spot there for me.
Aww, yeah. Okay. I probably only have one more question, but I actually have two. Okay. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Treat people how you'd like to be treated.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Simple, but very true.
Yeah.
And the last question I have for you is, if you could go back in time and speak to Jordan, who is about to enter the villa, what would you say to him?
Oh, that's a good question. What would I say to him? I would say, this is going to be the most craziest roller coaster time of your life, so saddle up and get ready.
Saddle up, you're so country.
Yeah, saddle up and jump on that horse because you're in for a ride.
Okay, so you wouldn't be like, oh, do this.
No, I think, like, honestly, going in there and just, like, that was probably the best thing ever, was going in there with not knowing what was going to be in there. So each day, everything that happened was just genuine and free flowing, and it was just like, there wasn't like I was going in there and be like, all right, so you're going to couple up with the hottest girl, and then you're going to dump her because it's going to be crazy, like who would dump the hottest girl, then you're going to get with this girl, and then you're going to stay with her for the end so you can make it to the end. Like, there was none of that. It was literally like, whatever happened was going to happen, because if you start making scenarios up in your head and they don't work, then sometimes that can play with your mental health and all that stuff, where if you just are open-minded, whatever happens, I'm going to deal with it then and there, you're not giving yourself anxiety because you're not thinking too far in the future. And then if you start, worrying about what's already happened in the past, you're giving yourself depression because you're worrying too much about what's already happened.
So live in the moment.
Take
every moment as it comes.
Yeah.
Amazing. And if the people want to find you on Instagram or TikTok, what are your handles?
My handles are, I think it's Jordan.Dowsett _ on Insta. And then I think it's just Jordan.Dowsett on TikTok.
Tickety-tock. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You were amazing. You're so confident and amazing, and I loved hearing your story. It's so interesting hearing the behind the scenes.
It is so interesting because, I guess when people just watch the show, they don't realise like how much is involved. And the probably thing that blew me the most was the amount of crew that were over in Spain.
Oh, really?
Like when I remember rolling in the first day and like from the villa to this thing, and like the driveway was so long up to this villa, and there was just shipping containers and just like the site huts, the ones you have on the like construction sites, like those like little kitchen things and tables, and there was like a full kitchen staff, and there was honestly just so much there. It was like, whoa. And then like sitting in the car, my one of the people that I was with was like, that's all for you. Like, because like we're like the main characters, you know what I mean? Like all
main character energy.
Main character energy. It's like Slay Queen. It's just like they're all there for you, you know what I mean? And you forget like how much like I'm just me, you know what I mean? I'm just Jordan, but like really like they want you to be like the perfect, like, you're like, everyone's there for you because you're going to make this show. So like just seeing how many people it like takes and stuff like that, and it's honestly crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What type of person does it take to apply for this show? Like, to be able to handle this show? I
think that's definitely one thing they take into casting, is you might be the perfect candidate, but if you can't handle the pressure, the whole environment afterwards and stuff like that, they would take that into consideration. So I feel like you have to be really mentally stable and prepared to be, like you've got to go from ups to downs, all that sort of stuff. I honestly don't think you can ever prepare. You would never be able to prepare yourself because, I guess someone that would go on saying this season coming could listen to podcasts that we've been on to gauge it. But like none of us would ever have listened to a podcast of someone being on there to sort of hear some backstories and go, whoa, I'm in for that. So when I went, I didn't listen to a single thing. I would have. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I watched, I think, half of that Davide and Ekansu one with Luca and Gemma and that UK season of Love Island. I watched like a couple of episodes of that because when I found out I was going on, I was all excited. And then I was like, hang on, what am I actually going on? Like, what am I getting myself into here? So I was like, fuck, I better go watch a couple of episodes to actually sort of understand what I'm getting into. So I did like that tiny bit of homework. But yeah, no one would ever be able to prepare you to actually for what you're actually going to get involved in.
What a wild ride.
Yeah. But I feel like that's what makes it so special too.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I want to go on TV, but not Love Island. I want to go on Big Brother.
Yeah, I've heard Big Brother. I think back in the day it used to be unreal.
Yeah.
As in, I still feel like it'd be really cool going on, but I don't think there's much of a following as what it used to have. Like, remember back in the day, like, everyone watched Big Brother.
It was huge.
Everyone.
The concept of it just seems so fun.
Yeah, it's 100%. I'm
like, vibes.
I definitely would go on Big Brother. I reckon that can be so much fun.
He said it here, guys. You might get scouted.
Yeah.
So if he disappears for 6 weeks, we know. Wait, are you still FIFOing?
I'm about to start next month, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to start next month.
Oh!
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Yeah, he's actually going with The Bachelor.
No, I'm actually going back to work. I've been off for 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It'll be weird when you go back. You're like,
I'm dreading it, but I'm also so keen to get back into like routine and stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of being here, there, everywhere and doing bits and pieces, it's just like I'm such a routine guy. I just can't wait to just go back and slide back into where I belong.
Yeah. We love a good routine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. If you guys got something from this podcast, feel free to screenshot it, put it on your stories and share it around. The podcast Instagram is Attitudes with Andy and mine is andy.bentley_. You can leave a review, you can press follow, subscribe, all the good things. And I'll see you guys next week for another episode. Bye.
See ya.